Hi everyone. This video I had to do a voiceover because the sound was all weird. So today I'm going to make a postcard for the challenge on Tatty Treasure and Friends Facebook group. There's a weekly postcard challenge, and you can follow along. This week is Artist, and so my card is 6x4, and I've chosen to use sunflowers because I really love that painting by Van Gogh, the sunflowers. So I have a sheet of paper that I'm just going to rip the edge off here, and I'm just going to kind of collage onto my 4x6 base. So I hope everybody is doing well and you're having a beautiful day. It's getting colder here, and it's actually supposed to snow tonight. So just a bit. So we're getting there. We're getting into the snow of the world up here in the northern woods of Maine. So this is a pretty basic little postcard. I didn't do a whole lot to it. Really just a bunch of collage, and I do a little bit of just hand stitching on it with a little bit of fabric and paper. So I've really enjoyed doing these challenges. I normally do them even if I'm not hosting it or being the one who's making the originals. Yeah, I dumped it on my table. Yep, that's me. That's how I roll. That's my best thing right there is like just get glue all over the table. I didn't even put my mat down to make this, which is funny because I normally do. But anyway, so I'm just gonna collage a little bit onto this card, and then kind of decide where I want the pieces to go. I kind of ripped that one edge a little bit so it looks a little weird, but I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put all these pieces. All of these papers are from, and the little cards and stuff are actually from the Junk Journal Studio. I have her, I think they're all from her the Summer's Bounty kits, and I have it's such a huge kit that I have so much of it. I just keep using it and various things, but I really like this paper a lot. I think I said before, actually when I did the card last week, I really like this paper that's kind of already collaged, already a masterboard, because I'm not very good at it in the scheme of things, in the big scheme of things, like making a whole sheet. I can do these little pieces like this and make them look pretty decent, but a whole sheet of it, yeah, it's not really my best thing. So I think that collaging is actually, a lot of people really love it, and I think a lot of people find a lot of what's the word I want, like enjoyment, or it's comforting or relaxing to them. For me to do a whole sheet like that, it's actually kind of stressful, and I think because I get overwhelmed with all of the choices, so that's usually why when I do small collages like this, I only pull out a few things and keep it very basic, so I don't get overwhelmed, because if I pulled out everything that I had, I would get super overwhelmed and be like, I don't know what to do anymore. So so that's why I kind of like these cards too, because they're kind of easy to go with that idea of getting a theme and not getting too stuck in the what's what's there and what's not. This is my bag, a little envelope I have of just goodies that I just kind of pulled out just to use for this card. Again, I didn't want to pull too much out. I didn't want to get too overwhelmed. So I'm just kind of trying to decide how I want to use this. This is a piece of rust dyed fabric that I got from a friend, Danielle, from actually Phyllis Space Handmade, and she does the kind of rust dyeing thing that I think is so cool. So I'm just trying to figure out how I want to use this and where I want to use it and what I want to use it on, and I can't really figure it out. For me, a lot of times it's kind of like playing and deciding where can I put things, what can I do, what makes sense where. And so I decide, first I'm just going to kind of finish the card up. I wanted to have the word sunflower on it somewhere because I am trying to do the whole sunflowers painting artist. So pay homage to that in some way. So, that's the other thing I kind of like about these postcard challenges is they're, so different. Everybody comes up with such a different idea. And, I really love how everybody kind of comes up with their own take on the word or the theme or whatever it is. I just think that's super cool how people do that. So I rip that off and I decide that I really need to trim it off because I think because it was wet, it didn't really rip off as well as I kind of wanted it to. But and I also don't think I really had the ruler put in a good place for that. So I'm just going to play kind of with fabric and decide like where I can put this and what I can do. And actually I really love how it looks so far. I love that kind of neutral colors with that kind of those like bright kind of pops of yellow and orange and brown. So there were a bunch of sunflower stuff in this kit, which is why I kind of thought about it. And that painting, actually, I really like. We had it when I was a kid. We had it just kind of hanging in our house. Obviously not the original. But it's, it's a beautiful painting. So I wanted to pay homage to it with this card. So I'm just kind of tearing the edges of this little card off so it's kind of the size I want it to be. I really just kind of wanted the sunflowers on there. So I'm going to just layer it up here. Excuse me. My throat is a little scratchy. I'm going to layer it up here with some paper and some fabric and see how that all works. These cards are really fun to make, and I have quite a few of them, and I've used a couple in journals that I have sold, but I really like making them, and I think the trick for me, or the thing for me, is kind of trying to make them not super, super specific, but kind of more neutral, and that could be maybe used in multiple types of journals or multiple types of things. The first one the one that was probably the most specific one I made was the Peter Pan one, which was a few, I think it was not in October. I think it was in September, one of the weeks in September. And I had to make I cut out the map, or I printed out the map actually, of Never Never Land, and kind of decorated it up and wrote the quote around the edge of it, a Peter Pan quote around the edge of it. And I like it because it's kind of neutral. I mean, you can tell it's Never Never Land, but it's not super specific. Can be used probably in multiple things. So I have some embroidered with floss. This is actually some vintage embroidery floss that I've had, that I got from someone. And it's kind of this kind of maybe sage green kind of color. I didn't want to go with yellow or orange or brown. I decided I wanted to pull in another color, and there is obviously some green in this from the leaves and the flowers and such. So I'm trying to thread my needle here, which is always a good time with me. I actually probably should get one of those needle threaders, but I'm just kind of, suffer through on it. So I am going to stitch this together. I realize that I actually need to put some holes in it first, because that would probably make it a little bit easier to do. And, I probably could have glued it together too first, which would have made it a little bit easier. But no, I'm going to do it the hard way and decide that I really need to just do it as it is. And then, I'm like, this is stupid. Like, what are you doing, Dana? Get out your awl and make some holes. So I just made some holes because I just wanted to put 3 X's down the side of it. So I have to put the holes in it first because, obviously that makes sense. I do have... actually do have a little ruler that I bought. I want to say it is from, it might be from Making Memories. And it's, but it might be from somewhere else. I don't know. I've had it for a long, long time. And, it's a little ruler that has, holes in it, little metal ruler, and it's got holes in it. So you could punch the holes for a straight stitch. There is holes for a zigzag, and there might be holes for crosses like this, for X's. And then there's one that's kind of a swirly, loopy kind of one, like the path of like a bumblebee or something, right? That you could stitch on. So I have that ruler, but I didn't really want to go dig it out and find it because I'm not sure where it is. It's probably in my pile over here, but I'm not exactly sure where it is. So I'm just going to stitch these little X's on here, and I left the thread full, so it's all the strands of the embroidery thread. I didn't want to, I wanted them to show, and it is a really light color. So they're not super noticeable. But they're also not, they're not, unnoticeable either. I mean, they're super noticeable. So, I mean, they're not super noticeable, but you can see them. So, I just wanted to give it a little different kind of a look than normal. I do like kind of doing that, stitching on things every once in a while, either like little X's or the little, I'm not even sure what they're called, but like the little rosettes where you just take your thread, you run it up, wrap it around the needle like, I don't know, maybe 3 times, and then push it back down through the hole, and you make the little the little flowers, little rosettes, little thread balls. I don't know what they're actually called. So I'm just going to stitch here on the back, a couple just to hold the thread on there. And then I will realize, oh yeah, I should probably glue all this together. That would probably be a really good choice to glue it all together. So now I'm going to glue it. Glue after the fact, right? I don't know. I guess I could have not glued it and left it. I could have used it maybe as a little tuck spot or something. But I don't know. I'm not really sure what I would tuck in there that would take away. I mean, I think it would take away from the design of it or the aesthetic of it, whatever. So, I'm just about done with this, actually. I'm going to just glue this on and then ink it all up, and I'm going to be pretty much done with it. I actually really like how it turned out. I like that it's kind of simple in its design, but has a lot of elements on it, and it's not too overly crazy or anything. My glue is like gushing out on my, I'm not really sure what's going on with this glue today. I don't know if it's super wet here because it's rained all day. So I don't know if it got super, I don't know, who knows. It is the Barely Art glue, so it won't freeze, which is a good thing. I mean, it will freeze. I shouldn't say that. I think it will freeze if you left in the freeze, but it's not like art glitter glue that when it defrosts, when it thaws out, art glitter glue separates and becomes like this bunch of gooky gunk and liquid. But Barely Art glue doesn't do that. Now I have frozen art glitter glue. Believe me, I froze it once. So I know for a fact that it comes out as gunky stuff in liquid because it separates. But I don't think that Barely Art glue does that. I think when it defrosts, when it thaws out, it's fine. I thought about putting a tab at the top of this, but then I thought, no, it's a postcard. It doesn't need a tab at the top. It's not a tag. So I think that is about all I'm going to do. I'm just going to ink it up and then call it good. So I didn't ink all the pieces separately when I first put them on. So there isn't a lot of kind of delineation between the pieces and the separate pieces. Now I do kind of try to ink that middle piece a little bit and get some ink on that separate, and then ink the back of it up so people can use it. I can use it, wherever I happen to put this can use it as a journaling spot. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this is not annoying that I did the voiceover after, but it was so weird. It had this weird humming kind of noise in it when I recorded it, and it was annoying me. So this is the finished card, and I hope that you enjoyed this. And I will see you guys next week with our week number 3 card, because this is week number 2. So have a good night. Bye, guys.